This little girl was recently brought into the Joplin Humane Society after police in Oronogo were called in to deal with a hoarding situation. You'll learn what you can do to help them find forever homes coming up.
Plus, the latest from day 3 of the trial of a Joplin murder suspect.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Joplin Humane Society is currently working to rehabilitate 18 dogs that were brought to them after law enforcement responded to a report of a hoarding situation in Oronogo, Missouri. This is KOAM News at 10. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke to shelter and law enforcement officials to learn more.
18 dogs are now in the care of the Joplin Humane Society after the Oronogo Police and Jasper County Sheriff's Office responded to a hoarding situation in Oronogo. Roaming packs of dogs were intimidating neighbors, including Oronogo resident Patty Egan, who lives near the home that was previously packed with pups.
I have an attendant who's also a friend who she hasn't been able to walk my dog, and we can't really safely take my dog out of this yard because they would all attack her at the same time.
The owners of the dogs agreed to give up all but 4 of them to law enforcement, following reports that some of them had bitten neighbors and even an Oronogo officer.
We won't allow the situation where they're constantly roaming the neighborhoods, and the ones that we deemed to be vicious that were going after people are the dogs that we did take. We did make sure that those were ones that they handed over to us.
The 18 dogs consist of 8 adults and 10 puppies, and the Joplin Humane Society is determined to find each one a forever home, even the biters. But before that happens, they'll need help with fleas and malnourishment and a lot of tender loving care so these pups know how to behave properly around people.
So it's just getting them comfortable and getting them socialized and letting them know that humans can provide a positive interaction.
Police say the dogs' original owners let the situation get out of control because the dogs weren't fixed. But that won't be an issue going forward since the 4 dogs remaining at the home are all male. In Jasper County, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
If you'd like to help these dogs recover by donating to or volunteering with the Joplin Humane Society, check out the link to their website in this story. It's on KOAMnewsnow.com. The trial for a Joplin man accused of killing a woman and shooting his estranged wife enters its 3rd day. The 3rd day of the trial today was focused on Stephen Thomason's physical well-being at the time he allegedly murdered Carissa Gerard and critically injured his estranged wife, Christina Thompson. The defense argues that Thompson was unable to lift his arm very high due to a severe rotator cuff injury. A social worker also took the stand to testify about the Thompsons' relationship with each other and their child. You can read more about that and other updates in this story on our website, again, KOAMnewsnow.com. The city of Sarcoxy announced today via a Facebook post that it's shutting down public comments on all of its Facebook pages. The mayor, Don Triplett, said he was making the announcement on behalf of the Board of Aldermen that approved the decision at its September 7th meeting. In the post, Mayor Triplett said the decision was made due to social media trolls who, quote, spew hate, attack our citizens, or vilify the city most of us are proud to call our hometown.
Sometimes these attacks are personal, and you can't count on a content editor to always do it the right way. And I don't want somebody like that to drag down one of our good people whenever they're just maybe having a bad day, you know. So it is kind of to help protect our employees, not from receiving the problem or criticism, but from maybe responding poorly.
Residents will still be able to send direct messages to elected officials through their Facebook pages. In today's KOAM News Now Insta Poll, we want to know, how do you think local government should handle hateful public comments on their social media? Should they allow just any comment, block some comments, or block all comments? You can participate in the poll at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check in on the results a little bit later in this newscast. Beautiful weather out there today, Chris Warner.
Yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous today, and it was absolutely gorgeous yesterday as well. Thanks to that cold front that came through Monday, brought us, unfortunately, some severe weather, but brought behind the cooler temperatures. And as you can see, 73s where we made it, 50s where we started the day. Nowhere near normal and nowhere near the records, thankfully. We're just in some nice fall-like weather for this first day of fall. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us nothing to worry about across our area. In fact, across much of the lower 48, nothing to worry about. The system brought us our storms is now well off in the New England states. We do have some warmer temperatures coming, so let's take a look at tomorrow. We're going to start at 49, so that doesn't seem warm yet, but it's going to get there. 66 by 10, 73 by noon, 77 by 4. As you can see, some of us maybe even reaching the low 80s in southeast Kansas. We're going to tell you more about these warmer temperatures and the complete forecast here in just a few minutes.
All right, catch you then. Fall is officially here, and soon the beginning of flu season will be too. Last year, flu season was almost non-existent, but now health experts warn that the flu has already arrived in the area, and it's important to get a flu shot as early as possible. Donna Stokes, infectious disease preventionist for Mercy Hospital, stresses the importance of taking precautions as we enter this year's flu season while still dealing with the pandemic.
Our number of COVID cases for this area are decreasing. We, however, are planning for a COVID and influenza season, which will increase our bed capacity needs.
Stokes says a common complication for both the flu and COVID-19 is pneumonia, which could lead to an increase in hospitalizations. President Biden announced that the U.S. is doubling its purchase of Pfizer's COVID-19 shots to share with the world to more than 1 billion doses. And tonight, the FDA decided in favor of emergency authorization of booster shots for senior citizens and others at risk. Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
Wednesday night, the FDA granted emergency use authorization for the Pfizer booster shot for individuals 65 and up and for those whose health or occupation puts them at risk. The CDC must still finish weighing in and is scheduled to resume a discussion on boosters Thursday.
Given the types of immune responses we're seeing here, as well as the real-world evidence, this bodes well for the vaccine to provide substantial benefit to those individuals that are boosted.
But global vaccine supply remains an issue. In a virtual COVID-19 summit with world leaders, President Biden pledged to ramp up U.S. efforts to send vaccine doses to countries that need them most.
Today, I'm announcing another historic commitment. The United States is buying another 500 million doses of Pfizer to donate to low and middle-income countries around the world.
The president says 500 million previously announced doses have begun to ship, bringing the total U.S. commitment to more than 1 billion.
For every one shot we've administered to date in America, we have now committed to do 3 shots to the rest of the world.
In a statement, Doctors Without Borders said the announcement is a welcome step, but it's calling on the U.S. to ship its own excess doses. As vaccination rates continue to lag in some communities, ICU beds are full. At Kentucky's St. Clair Regional Medical Center, the staff is so overwhelmed that the Kentucky National Guard had to come to help out.
You can't ask nurses to take care of any more people than they're already taking care of.
But in a sign of hope, the CDC predicts new COVID-19 hospitalizations are likely to decrease over the coming weeks. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Following the FDA authorization of the Pfizer booster, the CDC Advisory Committee will meet again and take a vote. That's expected as early as tomorrow. And then the CDC director would have to officially sign off. Roughly 8,000 Haitian migrants are still believed to be encamped in Del Rio, Texas. The Department of Homeland Security says some of the migrants are being placed in ICE detention facilities or released into the U.S. with notices to appear at an immigration office. Others still face immediate deportation. Homeland Security officials say the U.S. is working with countries in South America to see if they'll accept the return of migrants from their countries. Still ahead, as we said, fall is officially here. We're going to hear from some experts about some gardening tips and a man on a mission in a bear suit. Fall is officially upon us, arrived this afternoon, and folks with a green thumb are transitioning their gardens for the new season. We spoke with the owner of In the Garden in Pittsburgh to get some fall gardening tips. He says now is the best time to plant trees because the temperatures are cooling down. Also says you want to compost your soil now to prepare it for food later in the fall.
You can use leaves, you can use grass clippings, you can use straw, but you want to use a mixture. You want different stuff in there because you'll have different nutrients by doing that. As these microorganisms and worms feed on this stuff, they break it down so that plants can use it.
John also recommends planting turnips, saying they're an old world way of putting nitrogen back in the soil. A man is walking from LA to New York. That's unusual enough. More unusual if you were to do it, say, in a bear suit. That trip brought this guy through Joplin today. He calls himself Bear's Son. He's been in the 4 states for a while now. He was previously spotted in northeastern Oklahoma. Now, he's not just doing this walk for kicks, although I'm sure it's a lot of fun. He's working to raise awareness and donations for a number of organizations, including some that deal with mental health issues.
When I heard he was coming through Joplin, I was like, okay, we're gonna find Bear's Son and see if we can hunt him down and see how he's doing and snap a quick picture with him.
The Bear's Son is expected to rest for the night in Sarcoxie before continuing on his journey tomorrow. He's famous already through social media. You can follow along with him on Instagram. His handle is I am Bear's Son. Students in Riverton gathered to pray for their schools. It's part of the See You at the Poll 2021 event, an annual event where students can gather around the flagpole at their school to pray. Riverton students gathered at 7:45 this morning for their prayer.
Get everyone in the community together, and so everyone can, here at school, we can see everyone and represent God and pray, and just everyone this morning, as a community, we can get together as Christians and see how the community interacts with each other better ways.
See You at the Poll always takes place on the 4th Wednesday of September. Later, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the AFC will face off this weekend. We're going to hear from Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes ahead of the team's matchup with the Chargers.
And on the first day of fall, we've had some fall-like temperatures, but are they going to stick around? We'll have that full forecast coming up. Well, we saw pretty nice weather again today after seeing pretty nice weather yesterday. And considering it's the first day of fall, it was nice to have some fall-like temperatures. You can see the fall-like sky, if you will, across the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort time lapse. Of course, that's just outside Seneca, Missouri. If you watch very closely, you'll see the one cloud traipse through the sky. There it went. Not too bad for a day like today. How we started about a week and a half ago, was pretty toasty. 94 is where we started last Monday, and then this most recent Monday, 93, and then we had that cold front come through, brought some showers, storms, maybe even a few severe thunderstorms too. But look what it did to the temperature. 74 yesterday, 73 today, so absolutely fall-like, absolutely gorgeous. Still pretty gorgeous looking at 7th and Range Line. You can't tell for sure, but I promise there's not a cloud in the sky out there. Right now, temperature's already dipping off to 55, and they're going to continue to dip down even lower than what they are. And you saw the wind there east at 3. The wind is important. I'm going to tell you what's going on with the wind and what it's going to do to us in the next about 24 hours or so. Rest of us sitting in the lower to mid 50s, and here's the wind. It's starting to shift around now. It's coming around from the east. It started out after this cold front from the northwest, northeast. Now it's coming in from the east, and it's going to continue to shift and to eventually to the point where it gets to be from the southwest. So we'll tell you about that too here in a minute. We started off the day in the lower 50s for most of us, made it in the lower 70s. We are still sitting lower to mid 50s across the area. As promised, though, those temperatures are going to continue to drop through the night, and it is going to be very fall-like. So here's what we're going to expect. Temperatures dipping off, and if you take a look at this, 40s. We're talking upper 40s, maybe even some mid 40s for just about all of us to start the day. So 49 at 7 a.m. And as we go through the day, it's going to warm up just a little bit by noon to 73. And then by the time we hit the afternoon, 77. So much warmer today than what it was today. But take a look at the wind, south-southwest. So as we head on out to where everybody else is going to be, here's the backside of this system. There's that southerly breeze. The northerly breeze is getting on out of here. It's moving on with its life. So back in northeast Oklahoma, parts of southeast Kansas, that south breeze is in effect for most of the day. It's going to be a pinch warmer. The rest of us are going to be sitting in the upper 70s, but those temperatures are going to continue to increase. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us nothing in our area. That's a system that we dealt with just a couple of days ago. So let's move in to the future. As we head through tomorrow, as we mentioned, we're going to get back into about the upper 70s for most of us. And then as we head into Thursday evening, not going to be nearly as cool. We're going to talk about the mid to upper 50s instead of the 40s. And we start the day Friday in the 70s, and it's going to get into the lower to even some mid 80s for some of us as we head into Friday. Friday night, still considerably more mild. Then take a look at the 7-day forecast. Mild temperatures all around, 91 by Sunday and Monday, 86 on Saturday. Overnight, nose, not too bad, and it's going to stay dry until about the middle of next week, and the air is going to be dry. Low humidity, low dew points, so this heat isn't going to be as bad as what we saw about a month ago.
That's nice. And the crisp air in the mornings and the evenings, love it. Thanks, Chris. Coming up in sports, Kansas City Chiefs aim to bounce back this weekend against the Los Angeles Chargers. And it's homecoming weekend for Missouri Southern. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Missouri Southern Lions are coming back home this weekend, hosting the Fort Hays State Tigers. Now, the Lions are coming off their first win of the season, beating Central Oklahoma last Saturday, 14-10. Now, Fort Hays State is also 1-2 and coming off their first win over Lincoln. Now, for the Lions, Nathan Glades is leading the way on the ground, rushing for 242 yards in 3 games. As just a freshman out of Joplin High School, Glades is happy to get an opportunity early to show what he can do.
I hold myself to a pretty high standard. So when I came in here, I said that I wanted to change and make a difference in the culture, because right now, Coach Bradley's done a great job of trying to build culture for this team. So him putting his trust and relying on me to do bigger things than what a lot of freshmen are given opportunities to do, I appreciate it a lot.
A lot of times at the running back position, it's a little tougher for young guys to get in the rotation just because of the pounding you take from a very mature and physical league. And he's done a really nice job of deflecting big tackles that could, end up being heavy hits. But he has a way of kind of running through them instead of absorbing them. And I think that's going to benefit him in the long run.
The Kansas City Chiefs return to Arrowhead on Sunday. Chiefs host the LA Chargers, aiming to bounce back from their first loss of the season. Sunday night, Kansas City fell to Baltimore 36-35, putting them at 1-1 overall this season. Now this week, it's another great quarterback matchup with Patrick Mahomes facing Los Angeles and their young QB Justin Herbert. Now Mahomes talked today about facing the Chargers' up-and-coming star.
His arm talent, is crazy. The way he's able to throw some of these throws, it's kind of like when you throw it, you're like, I don't know if that's a good throw, and then he's always hitting it perfectly in there, so it's always a great throw. So he's someone that has a lot of talent. He's learning more and more as he gets in this league, and he's a big guy. He's a little bit bigger than I am, but he's a big guy. He has a strong arm, and he can move around. He definitely does it in his own way, but he has a lot of success doing it.
Riverton's J.C. Thomason is having a great season and a great career for the Rams on the volleyball court. Thomason has helped Riverton win 13 straight and 20 of their first 21 games of the season. She's also hit a big career milestone. As just a junior, Thomason recently topped 1,000 career kills for Riverton High School. On top of that, she's become a leader for a young Riverton roster.
We don't have a senior on the team this year, so it's been very important for her and our junior setter, Morgan Compton, for the two of them to take on that role.
Well, I love my teammates to death. I'm proud of my teammates for putting all their effort and energy out there, because what I expect out of myself, I expect out of them too. And I just try to hold them to a standard, and they hold me to that standard. And so I just want to push my teammates to be the best they can be, but I also love them on and off the court.
You can check out our full story with Thomason on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. The St. Louis Cardinals have won 10 games in a row, including the first 2 games of a 4-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Tonight, Game 3 between the two teams. Cards try to get that winning streak to 11. A Tyler O'Neill 2-run homer in the very first inning. Cards on top early. O'Neill back to work in the second. Doubles down the line and left. That scores Paul Goldschmidt. St. Louis out to a 5-0 advantage. They're not done there. Next batter, Nolan Arenado, also doubles here. O'Neill scores, and that's what it was like all night. 10 runs on 15 hits for the Cardinals. They make it 11 straight, winning tonight 10-2. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Sergeant Edward Underwood served in the U.S. Army. His hometown, Joplin. And we are proud to salute Sergeant Edward Underwood. He's tonight's 4-state hero. You know, we have thousands of these heroes in our database, and you can look them up by town or name, and we're always looking for more. If you'd like to nominate a hero, a currently serving member of our armed forces, or a veteran, just go to our website. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. Let's check in on today's KOAM News Now Insta Poll. We've been asking, how do you think local government should handle hateful public comments on their social media? Allow just any comments, 29% say yeah. Block some of the comments, 4%. 2 out of 3 say you got to block all the comments. This poll is now closed. Thank you for participating. Beautiful weather today, and we're going to have more of the same, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to stay that way. It's going to start to warm up, though. As we get into tomorrow, the southwesterly breeze kicks in, which means temperatures heading into the upper 70s, and then we'll be into the 80s by Friday and the 90s by the weekend. But the good news is low humidity, low dew point, so it's not going to be a miserable heat, just it's going to be warm.
Yeah, it'll be pleasant enough.
Exactly.
And we'll get to fall formally, weather-wise, officially, I think, soon enough. Sports note.
We told you about Riverton's J.C. Thomason. She wants to play in college after high school. She does have an offer from Pittsburgh State. I'm sure that won't be the last. She's just a junior. You can check out our full story with her on our website.
She's good. A lot of colleges are going to want her. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget our morning show, and let's make it a great tomorrow.